Hello everybody, my name is Raxtus.
And I'm Soulgale.
And welcome back to Warframe.
Woo!
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alright, we got a mastery test to do.
Master rank test.
Let's go.
Begin the test.
You have proven your skills with weapons, Tenno. But what of your endurance? Can you survive this onslaught?
Alright, where did my pulse go? There it is.
Alright.
Alright. Woo!
A formidable performance. This test is now complete.
Ooh.
Another job.
Legendary 4.
Oh, yeah. So that means for us
The inbox has messages for the operator.
that for equipment, this game is actually 100% complete. There is nothing else to actually do in Warframe other than to put this slate up on my shelf to sit back and take a sip.
And take a sip of hot cocoa.
So, things I've been thinking about and things I just keep on coming back to, and I just keep on having the same irritations again, is this. I keep on coming back to this. If you've actually watched Warframe Things to Improve, this is a thing that I just keep on coming back to, and this is a thing that I can't stop itching, apparently for me, because it's just something that just bugs me. I got a lot of emotions from this. I got, from the beginning of the game, hope, expectation, and then just kind of after the point, it's just kind of like, a little bit of sad, a little angry, but just mainly disappointment. This to me is just a disappointment because this has taken 7 to 8 years to finally find one of them.
Yeah.
And for me, it was almost 8 years. Almost 8 years. And I finally find one, and I don't even get to look at it. I don't get even to, take a breath and go, wow, this is so cool, and get a prime component out of it. It just completely destroyed on the floor. And there's nothing. So this to me, it's just something that's just going to kind of drag on. It's just kind of like, this is just mainly a disappointment for me. And I mean, there are other emotions that kind of cling into this because it's not just, disappointment. The main one is definitely disappointment, but to me, just too sad because it wasn't what I was expecting. You know, it's not what I was expected to see.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I just keep on coming back to. It's just like, oh man. And then a second thing, and I'm going to change my orbiter colors here again a little bit too. Interior. There we go. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to give it kind of like the original Orc and gold color. So you can tell there's this color, there's that color. With the interior, you can see that there's only one color per slot. So we have pure white. I'm going to change this one to just a darker black color than what it was. But we've got this gold here, we've got the black accents, and this is kind of interesting, and I kind of don't like this a lot because I did do green for the floor to represent grass, and then you see along the trim of the ceiling, it's green up there too. I'm like, why is that? And the same thing up here, it's green on the ceiling. I feel like there should be a secondary color. As in Warframes, you have for energy colors or anything else, you have a secondary color that you can give something. I wish there was a secondary color for this so that it wasn't just copied and pasted onto the ceiling. That to me is not very appealing. And then
No.
I have to come back here too, is when I'm looking at this, now this is yellow. It used to actually be blue, but now that I changed that color, the blue, to yellow, you can see that that color is again through here. And I wish there was a secondary color for Lotus's pedestal here. So that really sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And then the same thing over here. The yellow is just here, and then the green again is pasted through the top and even into the ceiling. And I wish there was just one dedicated floor color, and then for those colors that maybe I could put a white up on the ceiling instead of having it be green. So again, where the main strip down the center, just like a band stripe, green. So again, I wish that the colors were not just everywhere. I wish you had a little bit more detail that you could take into coloring and that you had more options for coloring where I could color maybe that a different color altogether, you know, or certain things. And then with this darker black color I did here throughout the walls, you can see where it goes in through the trim up here. That actually is pretty nice. But I wish that you could almost just keep it the same color tone, because even if I did go the same color as in, so this is ice, very bottom of the palette. This was gamma, the center color right here, but we're going to hit the same color. I wish that the same color on the walls actually matched. Those two colors would match up. And then the one color ends up being lighter than the other. So that's something that you could kind of nitpick about, but be like, you know, I wish that I could be able to color the orbiter and not have to see stuff like that. So there's little details like that where I wish, I mean, it was fine for the earlier Warframes, but when you're talking about the ship's interior for the orbiter, it should have more customization to it where I can be able to color it and make it kind of feel at home. But that's just kind of nitpicky stuff about ship colors. And of course, we have our top 4 Warframes, so that we've done videos on. We have done Mag, Equinox, Frost, and Trinity. These are the main 4 that I primarily use. Everything else is kind of like 50-50 or something below that. We don't really use those Warframes as much. I'm going to go ahead and change my orbiter colors back here again. I just don't like the yellow too much. I like that color. And then,
I don't like the yellow where the operator is, or Lotus's pedestal, as you said. I really don't like it.
yeah, you should be able to have some customization over that so that it's not, like I said, blue or whatever color, because it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
That just sticks out like a sore thumb. But So for this mastery Legendary 4, it's 147,500 per mastery rank. And this has actually been capped since rank 29. So at rank 29, you needed 147,500 mastery, which is based upon warframes and or weapons, to get up to the next rank. And this has been capped since 29, so going on to 34 and Legendary 4 and etc. beyond. So this means if you pull out a little bit of math and you do a little bit of math behind it, you need at least 10 to 13 more sets. And what I mean by sets is either one warframe and 2 weapons or one warframe and 3 weapons to get around 12 to 15k mastery rank points. And that would be to be able to get to the next mastery rank, to be able to level it up. And then each set, especially when you're talking about warframes, would take about 2 years to fully release. So to get to Legendary 10, which would be, we're at Legendary 4 right now, and there is no other equipment currently in the system, it would take around 10 to 12 years at that pace to finally get to Legendary 10. So that might take a while to get to Legendary 10 at that pace. Maybe it will go a little bit quicker, maybe it won't. Just depends on how fast the warframes come out and what eventually happens with Warframe in the future. Which Warframe started in 2012. The actual start date they say is 2013, but I believe the vanilla started out 2012. I'm not sure. Could be.
Oh,
But
could be.
the one thing that kind of sticks out to me is, yeah, you know, we have 10 to 12 years left. And the thing that kind of sticks to me is, you know, we're at kind of like 10% of the story. Ever since Nata and from that quest line, that's the only thing that has really been interesting in terms of actual story. And then kind of past that, I don't know if, you know, there might be other things that might have been interesting, but I don't feel like there's really been anything interesting past Nata, that quest there, or the second dream, kind of in that zone there. We really haven't really progressed the story of Warframe all that much. So, you know, to me, the story's still at 10%. We really haven't gone that far with the story. The story's just kind of still stuck there at that point in time. It'd be interesting to see if we could further down the road, you know, I like the juice of a story, and I would like to see more Warframe story put in where we actually have something that's tangible, that just makes sense for Warframe, where from the beginning, how we've started and how everything's been put together from that point until Nata. I don't feel like anything past that point has really been as clear on the direction that we're going, but to have something tangible where it's, you know, hey, we're headed this direction, this is, you know, how the story is going to progress, you know, how the story is going to flow and how it's going to end, and to have something that, you know, that would make sense for the rest of the story, and to have something that's interesting. But that's just me, you know, sometimes the story just doesn't make sense from what they're trying to add into the game, and doesn't seem like it's as original as the original thought was. But yeah, well, that's all my thoughts for that. But there are, if you want to watch, there is Warframe things to improve. There are other ideas and other things that are kind of up my belt that I have ideas for, and reworks that can be plausible. So yes, well, is that all the time we have for this episode?
Unfortunately.
Yes, and we will see you guys in the very next video. Bye bye.
Bye bye.